What's going on, everyone? So, got a cool new album to review by the band Pigpen out in the Seattle, Washington area. Full disclosure, right? I know these guys. I'm friendly with them. I've been to shows to see them and with them in the audience as well. So there might be a little bit of bias in here, but I think I'm pretty objective with this. So the new album is called Cloth Mother. It was sent to me as one file, so I don't have a breakdown of tracks or song names or anything. But it was about, I want to say 38 minutes, 36 minutes, something like that. So Pigpen, when I first came across them, they're kind of this crossover, grind, thrash, attitude machine. Dane on vocals, no, Dane on drums, Aaron on bass, and man, I forget the former vocalist name. Riley is on vocals now, but so yeah, I saw them in a basement with like 10 people, and it was awesome. And I was like, man, these guys, like, it was a really good bit of chaos. And the drums, right, the just crashing cymbals and just like the pounding rhythmic components of drums that it wasn't trying to be fancy, but did a terrific job in doing what it was doing, and lend itself to the music. I think Aaron is a terrific bass player. He's got a really wide knowledge of music, and you can kind of see that he has a lot of good inspiration for the work he does. So with Riley, the new singer, he is right. The band is shifting from this crossover thrashiness to more of I think we're finding ourselves in more of a mixed genre, kind of almost experimental world. Their last album, Agony and Irony, was you could see it going that way. And it had a lot to offer. I think in this album, Cloth Mother, the trouble I'm having is there are parts where things go together really well, and then parts where I feel like Riley's vision and the music were out of sync a bit. So I've never made an album myself. I don't know what it's like to be in a band, so I could be off on this. But as a listener who's listened to this thing 20 times, including once today before doing this, I just felt that there were parts of just jointedness that for me took something away, because musically I feel like this is a soundtrack to something bigger. I feel like this is the type of thing that could have been written for something like 28 Days Later, where it's like this indie artistic thing that's done really well, has a lot of different components, right? There are pretty parts, humorous parts, chaotic, crazy parts, and I feel like between the kind of streetwise bass crashing drums and then Riley's different electronic, industrial, distorted, harsh noise type of fever dream approach to the vocals and to the lyrics. I feel like there was a lot here. It was like an entire buffet, but again, you go to the buffet and sometimes there are things that you don't like. So this isn't a dismissal of any of like Riley's approach. It isn't a criticism of it. It's just my experience. Some of this didn't feel like it went well together. So I really like the band. I really like the guys. I'm hoping that as they continue this possibly new direction. And I say possibly because I don't know what they're going to do. They might go back heavier and faster and crazier. As they continue whatever they're going to do, I hope that these things iron themselves out. And I feel pretty confident that they will find what works for them. So, again, always support new music. Always support new stuff that you are unfamiliar with. Go see local bands, because you never know what they're going to have to offer. I think for myself, Pigpen, they're a really nice group of guys. And I think that for myself, like, I'll always check out what they put out. So again, I don't know when the release is. Soonish. It's not on their Bandcamp yet, but what I'll do is I'll put a link to their Bandcamp down below so you can check it out. And there's some really interesting parts of this album, really good music parts. And if you get a chance to see them, it's an interesting show. It's a very frenetic show. There's a lot of stuff going on. It was really enjoyable, especially if you're into this type of music. So, I don't, those of you who have seen me do this before, I don't tend to do ratings. I don't like ratings like, this out of 10. This is an album I want to have, which I clearly have it. I think for me, I will listen to it deliberately at times when it is that soundtrack that I want to hear for the occasion. But we'll see, We'll see if this is something that we keep coming back to, or if it's something that, like I said, just has its moments and that's it. So when it comes out, definitely give it a listen. It's worth your time for sure. Check out their other stuff too. And yeah, I think that the more and more we get away from the mainstream stuff, the better, more enjoyable, more authentic the music is, right? I think when you like Metallica, Iron Maiden, Megadeth, like these bands doing their legacy tours now, I feel like these things are starting to get a little bit tired. I feel like, you're starting to see bands like Knocked Loose and Terror and Corpse Pile and Sing with Sugabog, right? These bands that are just doing things so differently, they're the ones really starting to kind of come into the focus here. But I feel like we need to go even further to keep on with the authenticity. So, no disrespect to any bands. If I can hear it on the radio, I probably not going to like it as much. If I see it in a commercial, probably not going to like it as much. Right? And this is me, but I think that there's also some qualities that when you get to a certain level, I think that they just disappear. I think that, some people might use watered down, or some people might use, mainstream. Some people, unfortunately, might even use sellout, but I feel like that's not the case. I feel like there's a certain level of success that requires certain sacrifices. And I think that, occasionally there's something like a Marilyn Manson who, it's weird and crazy, bizarre enough shit to where it's really well known, but then you saw how that went. And you keep hearing stories about it. So I think it's important, all that to say, keep digging into music. Keep digging, because I can't think of something yet where you're not going to find something new to check out. Something weird, something amazing that, like, oh my God, this band's incredible. Oh, they broke up in 2004. That sucks. But I think that we owe it to ourselves and to the world of music and to the musicians to keep digging. So if you listen to the new Pigpen and you love it, terrific. If you don't love it, that's fine, right? Enjoy the listen and move on to something else that maybe you will love. But don't skip it. Don't skip it, because you're going to miss things that you're not going to get anywhere else. And I think they're things that are quality and worth your time. So thank you for staying to the end here. I always enjoy a good rant. Okay, that was a mediocre rant, to be fair, but you know what I'm saying. So again, check it out. Comment on what pieces you liked or what you thought of it, and let's have more of a discussion, and see you soon.